DiBiasio.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Donnie, you have two charges. One is a parking ticket on Winter Street. Is there anything you want to tell me about that?
Truthfully, I was surprised. I have parked there before, and I wasn't really close to the corner. But what I was most surprised about, and I did hear you say this earlier, was that the ticket says 25 feet. I always knew it to be 15 feet. So did it change?
Actually, they changed it, I think, about 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh, yeah. No, I wouldn't ever think it would
You're not
be.
that old, are you? That you can remember
No.
6 or 7 years ago? No.
No.
All right.
Aside from that, I just wanted to say to you, if I could please, that my son is a civil engineer in transportation and watches your show all the time. And he did some research on you and informed me that your father and my grandfather were born in the same town in Teano, Italy. So I thought it was pretty cool because it's a little tiny town. I went there 2 years ago.
My father was born in Italy,
Yeah.
so I'm first generation.
Yeah, that's interesting.
One of the best trips I've ever taken in my life, and I've traveled pretty much most places, was that my dad and I alone went to Italy, and he had not been back for like several years. He left when he was in his teens, and I actually had been back 4 or 5 times, and so I went and see all the relatives, and he knew them when he was a teenager, but he didn't know them, for like 50 years later.
That's great.
And he and I went back alone. And I actually went back to his village, and the thing I remember so clearly was his aunt was still living at the time, and his relatives, and he wanted to know where the fig tree was.
Oh, sweet.
And so they pointed him to the fig tree, and he and I went, and we sat down. There was a little bluff, and he picked some figs from the tree.
Oh, that's cool.
And he was telling me that he and his dad would eat figs under that same tree.
Oh,
And he took a fig. I'll never forget this.
it's a beautiful place.
He took a bite of it, and he held up the portion that was still in his hand, and he says, "Frank," he said, "this is a fig."
Very nice.
No matter where else in the world you could ever given him something,
Of course,
there
yeah.
was nothing like that, Anyway, but
Italy's so beautiful.
I have a million stories to tell about that trip, but that I'll never forget it.
That's a great, memorable moment.
Donna, thank you for reminding me of that. Okay?
Oh, no problem. I really
Dave's
was
been
very
there.
excited to
Yeah.
say that. I was excited to be there.
All right. Don't park 25 feet to the corner. It's going to cost you $30.
Okay, thank
So
you.
somehow I could feel part of this story, Judge. If I could feel part of this story. I held up a fig Newton the other day. And